Good morning. My name is Michael Leeserman. We're here with the Trial Guide's tip of the day this Friday, July 21st, 2023. Today's tip comes from JamesHMcComas' Dynamic Cross-Examination, a whole new way to create opportunities to win. Here to read today's tip is JamesHMcComas. Thanks for being here this morning.
Well, thank you, Michael. The tip is by investigating, preparing, and carefully observing a trial, we determine who the witness wants to be for purposes of this court appearance. Then we flexibly use the cross-examination, and here a dynamic cross-examination, to take full advantage of the witness's predispositions, needs, and agenda. The point of this tip is that too often we focus our investigation on who this person really is in their own community. What are their pluses and minuses, their weaknesses? What would they tend to do? What psychological group, some people say, would they fit into? When in fact, when they cross the threshold in the courtroom and take the stand and the oath as a witness, a lot more things are going to be going on. Let's take an example, the opponent's expert witness. We all know who the opponent's expert witness is, down deep. A whore, right? Takes all this money in order to warp the facts, mislead the facts, or hit the facts so that they can make the best pitch possible for the prosecutor or for the criminal defense firm that's hired them. But if we attack right away on bias, we miss a great opportunity because we haven't factored in how do they want to appear to the jury. To the jury, they want to appear objective, knowledgeable, well-read. And so with every expert witness that matters in a case, we can start with a section based upon our research and our own experts' input and tomes, learned treatises in the area, and we can get them to admit that objective experts would agree with the following proposition. Because before they see the knife in the hook, they're trying to look acceptable to the jury. And then once we've got them to agree with that, we can go through their testimony and we can show how they failed to meet their own standards on this point, this point, this point. You will see this done very effectively in Appendix C to Dynamic Cross. Another interesting one, and different from that, is the sympathetic store owner. This poor guy is in his store. Some youths come in. He gets stabbed superficially in the back half a dozen times. They go running out. He gets his big .357 Magnum from under the counter. He runs out. He goes chasing in the direction that he somehow thinks that they ran. He sees a flash of red plaid at the corner. When he gets down there, he swings around and he fires off his gun into the crowd and hits and nearly kills somebody. The investigation shows that this guy is hardworking, a man of faith, somebody who is doing everything he can for his family, working 6 and 7 days, that he's the most honest person you would ever come across. And yet, we know his testimony is based on a fundamental lie. He knows he shot the wrong man. And if he acknowledges that, then he's going to sit where the client's sitting. So he can't acknowledge what he did. Now we see a tension between who the man really is and wants to be and wants his wife and children to think who he is and who he wants to be in court. And we can use the differences between those two aspects of personality or those two psychological settings in order to gain very close to complete admissions on his part by the end of the cross. See, for example, in the book, the cross at page 95. Chapter 4 contains another situation, and at page 155, there's another cross-examination, which, makes the same point. So that's the idea. Don't forget, in your rush to find out who this person really is, that when he comes into the courtroom, he's going to have an agenda and a set of parameters that he thinks he'll be willing to go to and not exceed. It's different than the man himself.
Wow. Uh, that makes sense. And I love the dynamicism of it, the dynamic cross examination, because as much as you can plan, and you can do some planning for how we expect that witness will show up in court, it really requires us to be dynamic and be on our feet and more like jazz than classical music, I would say, as the trial lawyer, because that person might show up at trial in a way a little different than we expected. And we have to be ready to play that tune, right?
Well, you're exactly right, Michael. And it's no coincidence that in 1903, the first Bible of cross examination by Francis Wellman was called The Art of Cross Examination. And then 70 or 80 years later, Posner and Dodd gave us 1,000 pages of the science of cross examination. And the truth is, it isn't art and it isn't science. It's a method of communication based on the preparation that you just mentioned. But it's the preparation that sets you free and lets you dance in the courtroom or play jazz, as you put it.
Nice. We both like the musical metaphors. So thank you for your metaphors, for your wisdom, for sharing parts of your book. If viewers don't have this book, go out and get it, Dynamic Cross-Examination. Thank you for being with us here this morning, Jim.
Thank you, Michael. It's been a pleasure.
Let's take a deep breath together and be grateful to be alive this Friday. May the work that we do today help to reduce suffering in the world. May it help repair the world. May we fiercely and compassionately advocate for our clients. May we do so from a place of compassion and wisdom. I'm going to ring a bell 3 times now. This can take you into a meditation practice, a prayer practice, or just let the sound wash over you and remind you, it's Friday. Wake up. Go out, do good things, and have fun while you're doing it.